here comes Rhonda. So Rhonda is also friends with Sherry because they've shared a stage several times. And I had called Rhonda and Brian. I totally love them so much. So I called Rhonda one time and I said, here, let me tell you about bank code breaker. She goes, are you kidding? She goes, I'm just going to be sharing a stage with Sherry. And they were in, I think, Cuba at the time when I was talking to Rhonda. And she goes, that's so funny that you would tell me that right when I'm talking to Sherry. And I'm like, there you go. And look at them. Aren't they beautiful? These are two of the most beautiful people I know.
Rhonda. Hi, guys.
So
Hi.
Michelle is also with Sherry and Esther, which I know you know both of them. And this is Rhonda Swan and Brian Swan.
Hello.
I think they're in Utah today. They're in Utah.
Yeah,
today.
we are. We're in Utah. We flew from LA. Brian just got here from Bali to LA. We flew from LA to Utah for a couple of days for a big event that we're at. But how are you guys? Good to see you.
We're awesome. Not as good as you, but awesome. Any final words, Michelle, before we close out with the
other than crack the code and take it to the bank, baby.
That's right. And I will post the link afterwards. For whatever reason, Facebook's not letting me do anything right now. So I have to wait until the whole thing is done. Michelle is coming to us from New York. These two beautiful people are coming to us from Utah. Nobody's at home except for me. So Brian and Rhonda actually technically now live in Bali. But now I think Rhonda's in California for this year doing some very special, wonderful things. And Brian is here visiting from Bali, I guess. Right, Brian? Brian and Rhonda both know my coach, Robert, who was on earlier today. And so there you go. Thank you so much.
Full circle.
I'm going to let Rhonda and Brian and Rich are anything. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but the theme is authentic leadership. So you guys talk about whatever because you're so awesome. And so is your business. Go for it. And thank you so much, Michelle.
All right. Well, great to have you, Marianne. Great to be here. It's really awesome to not only share the space with everyone, but you know, I love the platform that you create, and I really appreciate you always including us. Brian and I were actually having this chat. I was like, okay, you know, we have been in business. So we've been together for 28 years.
No.
In business together for about 20 years. And that takes a whole lot, right? Especially as a couple and starting out businesses and running families. And for us, many of you may have known our story or may have not, but we ended up leaving the USA in 2008. And there was a lot of stresses that came along with that. So we started our company together, and then we went through a lot of stuff. I don't know if you want to jump in and kind of share a bit of that story differently, because I got to share it last time.
Well, the biggest thing for you is making a decision where, like, we went through a bad real estate ordeal in the financial crisis, and then we're at a point of making a big decision. We already knew that working online, digital marketing, where like the internet's not going anywhere. And Rhonda said to me, she goes, I vowed never to put my future children in daycare. And I said, we're never guaranteed another day in our life. And we sold everything. We had our little 1-year-old baby in tow, Hanalei, and we decided, let's live right now. And we took our business traveling with us. And it was from the 4-hour work week that sparked that idea that if you have a business that you can work online, you can live anywhere you want and really do the things that you want to do. And also for a fraction of costs in beautiful places around the world. So we just took that idea and ran with it. And then lo and behold, now it's 2025. Hanalei's 18. She's lived in 20 some different countries. And we've been able to navigate business or relationship all around the world.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, that story, right? And if you haven't heard it before, and it's like, wow, you were talking about leadership, right? And authentic leadership. It's like being in that position. Here we are at that time. We were at the, height of our careers. We had multiple homes and, $1 million stuff and the cars and the blah, blah, blahs, right? And we find out in November 2008 is when we left. We found out early in 07, Swans, you guys invested in such a large real estate deal and you're losing everything. So I want to like put that in perspective here as leaders. So here we are on top of the world, having a baby, everything's awesome, big business stuff, to losing everything. So we had a choice at that point, right? And I'm going to sit on this side just because my arm's hurting, because I'm holding the camera. We had a choice as leaders, you know, to, as not only leaders in our family, but leaders in our community. How are we going to react to this situation? And I think often many of us have faced this, whether it was through COVID or whether it's through ups and downs or market shifts or even fear and maybe what's going on in the platform and the environment of the world right now. But as a leader, we get to choose. And so that's the moment we said, okay, we're losing everything. We're going to leave it all on the table. And we're going to fight against not fight, just walk away from what everyone said we should do. Swans, go back and get your job. You have a baby now, be a better responsible parent. And instead of listening, because it's easy to listen and go, you're right, we can get a 6-figure position right now. Or what we aligned ourselves with our values, authentically felt into our heart. Who are we for our daughter? Who am I for women of the world? Who are we for business owners when the times get tough that we fall off? And so we then said, no, we're going to do this. And we left with $12,872.62 with our name and a vision and a vow to never put my baby girl in daycare, but also to be a example and to show people, like, look, times can get tough. You could have it all, but you could lose it all. But that doesn't make you who you are today. Your bank account doesn't make you a better mom, doesn't make you a worse mom, right? And your bank account also doesn't make you a better leader. No. You as a character, go ahead. You have something.
No, I even have a prequel to that story. You know, and it comes.
We're trading off so arms holding.
I'm going to even back it up from before then. It's like when I was 11 years old, my dad, he contracted AIDS. My dad was gay. There's a lot of dynamics on this, but he knew without a shadow of his doubt he had an expiration date coming up. Didn't know if it was going to be 6 months, a year, but his whole life changed when you know you have an expiration date. Yeah. What are the things that you would be doing? He started traveling the world, taking my brother and my sister and I traveling the world. And at a young age, I got to see, wow, there is a whole different world and we're never guaranteed another day in our life. So that's been in our DNA. 16, he passed away. And some like, oh, my condolences. But if it wasn't for that, it would not be instilled in who I am. Rhonda's, and then Hanalei, she's 18. She's always living that, like, you know, there's never going to be that thing so many years ago, like, do the thing that you want now. Stop putting it off. Yeah. Because you're never guaranteed.
And truly being able and being vulnerable enough to share. Like, that's hard for Brian to even share today, right? However, we know the more authentically we share our story, we share what we are and who we are, our values, that's what attracts people. And we know as businesses are shifting and the planet and the way that, you know, the economy is shifting, right now we are in a community-based economy. Marketing shifting. Like, we've been in PR and media. I've owned a branding and PR firm for 23 years. It has changed so much. I can do as much marketing as I want. However, the moment that we actually stay in our community, we're there for service, pure authenticity, we're a leader in what we do in our daily lives, this is where business is moving. It's in community. That's why we're here at this event now. I'm going next week to New York because I know that us living in Bali was awesome. And it's been amazing for our family. It's been showing everyone how you can live. However, showing up for people in person, whether we fly across the world, you know, like right now, we're in the middle of an event. I was like, oh, Marianne's got me. Okay, 5 minutes. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Like, I will show up for you, sister, all day long because you show up for others, right? You show up for others. You put these events on. I know it's not easy to manage and wrangle people like us around, but man, you do it with grace. And that alone, like for this topic, authentic leadership, it's like, that's how we show up for each other. And this is how businesses grow. This is how businesses, you know, will take off and expand. But more importantly, it's really what the world deserves because there's so much of that fake news and things that are going on out there, and you don't really know who to trust. But when you got your community and someone's like, hey, I need to rebuild my brand, or I need some PR and media, I want to be on TV, you're going to go call Rhonda and Brian, because that's what they do. That's part of the community.
No
right?
matter how automated we get AI and systems, nothing ever beats the human connection. And that's why we keep on showing up for events. We put on events. We come to communities like yourself, because it is within the community.
Yeah.
It's so true. And I have done business with Rhonda several times and have had the pleasure of being in, oh my God, I don't even know if I can name
Digital
them.
Journal, USA Today, like, girl.
USA Today twice, Maxim, CEO, Digital Journal, L. Okay.
Meg, that's right. My goodness, girl.
So close to my heart, because when I was a little girl, not so little at 16, I used to buy L and go, oh, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm in L.
Right.
But I just want to say this about Rhonda. We had a little glitch with one of the magazines because they were taking forever. And this lady, even though it wasn't her issue to iron out, totally like made this such a smooth, and I'm like, wow, that is some serious awesomeness. Like, this girl with her dignity, and this is my business and I have to make everything right. Integrity, number one for Rhonda, for sure. And Brian, of course. And I've spoken to each one. I've never had the pleasure yet to meet them in person, but I'm hoping that day comes now that she's on the North.
Yeah, USA based.
And I love Hanalei. I think she is so the luckiest kid in the entire world to have the coolest parents, and not just cool, but look at them. They're so beautiful. Both of them are beautiful. How are they not? Can you imagine what their kid looks like? For those of you who might not know them, she's gorgeous. Look at this, a mixture of Rhonda and Brian. Are you kidding? She's beautiful. You guys should have had more kids. Anyways, I love it when you share your story. And first of all, second of all, I'm loving your background.
I know.
Did you say you're in something like
so awesome.
in Utah?
Yeah, Snowbird. It's a mountain.
I've never seen Utah.
I'll go on the gondola tomorrow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What event are you at?
It's a fun launch called the Black Card event. And so I'm going to share one more thing. When last year, talking about where you think that like a business venture is going to go this way, and we were starting, my partner and I, we're doing a development in Bali. We bought land, and then we're like, we're going to do a fund for this, and we joined this fund launch community, and we invested money in it. And then we found out about zoning and certain restrictions, and we're like,
the project's going down.
The project went down.
The investment's gone.
Rhonda went to another event, and this is talking about community, because I want to drill this in on why we're here. Rhonda went to a mastermind event about a month ago, and I was like, community. I said, we're still part of this community. Because of our project didn't work out, it's the people that go there and the connections. So you may not be doing the same thing, but it's like, let's go.
Yeah, stay in your community. Yeah, that's it's just good advice, knowing that things will go up and down, but your community will be there with you. And then to rebuild and to regrow, like, it's not always straight up. However, the bumps along the road allow that upward journey to be even grander. And so we just really appreciate you for giving us the space to share with your community as well.
I appreciate you for coming on here and taking time out of your crazy schedule, because God knows you guys are total international rock stars. Total international.
All right, they're kicking us out of here. The
people.
construction guys are like, get out of there.
It's all good. I totally appreciate your time. If
I love you, girl.
I totally understand. Thank you so much.
Mwah. Bye, You're everyone. Awesome. Thank you.
Stay awesome. Love it. Have a good day. Oh my goodness. Let me see. We gotta go.